I'm Michael North, and we're farming in Oxfordshire, around 200 acres, mainly down to grass. We've only got about 40-50 acres of wheat, and the rest is 2-year ryegrass lays and some timothy, which we've only started really growing this year. We used to be dairy and beef cattle, but in the last years we've got rid of the dairy herd and just down to grass, which is a bit of an easier way of doing it. And there's only me and my son that helps for the hay making. We started in the hay about 25 years ago. We were growing hay for the dairy herd, and we sold some one year for horses, and it seemed a good thing at the time, and we carried on from there. And as the years went on, we grew more and more grass for hay, and that's how it evolved really. Half the farm is heavy clay and the other half is a gravel subsoil. We tend to just disc up the lays where we go straight back into grass again with heavy discs, or of course parted in the autumn. We have sheep in over the autumn and winter if it's dry enough to keep the second year lays down, or else if it's a mild winter we've got too much growth in the spring and it tends to go dead and old in the bottom before we get to it. The new lays, we do try to graze those early on if the weather's permitting, or that can be the same, it can get too forward if it's been mild before we get to cut it. So the sheep are definitely a must for us. We usually start on the hay first or second week in June if the weather's right. Depending on the season, it can be a long job, or it can be soon be all over. Usually a long drawn out job with our weather we have here. We went into the timothy for the reason that we can harvest it later, which gives us a little bit of a break, because we were finding if we had too much ryegrass, it all comes at once and we're pushed to get it all while it's still at its right stage. So the timothy hopefully will give us a little bit of a breather so we can still make some good hay later in the season. There's a limited market for the timothy. Some people won't touch it, other people do, and it's a good hard hay, and which of course that's what they like for horses, and as so far we have managed to sell it quite well, and hopefully that will continue.